Yeah, yeah. Voice sound good?
Yo, it's YOC.
To earn every
Holla.
penny.
We in the building. Healing Justice mixtape. I know shit be holding me back. What be holding you back?
Okay.
Talk to him.
I said, don't get out of pocket, you just need to learn your lesson, A. We were always legends, never peasants, it's a blessing, A. Healing with our truth and all our truth, that's how we detonate. Whip it up and then let's get paid, craze the path and get out my way.
Hey,
Out my way,
hey,
out my way,
hey,
out my way.
hey.
We the ones you have forgotten, your hateration for generations been filled with toxic. Got a case of every black sister.
She had, 6 other children, relegated to welfare, which really didn't afford us the opportunity to live healthy and normal lives. So I was compelled at times to go out and, steal from grocery stores, food and bring home so that we could eat. Be that as it may, when I went through juvenile detention, my first experience with being confined and taken away from society was in Spofford. And again, I was already familiar with the streets, so I knew how to basically take care of myself. I wasn't afraid to fight. That's what we did in the streets. And basically, when I came out of that, after being back and forth in and out of those for 3 years, when I originally got arrested the first time, again, this process. And the process starts with this removing you from your dignity. It starts with stripping you of your dignity. And how do they begin to strip your dignity? Take your clothes off. Bend over. Spread them. We want to make sure you don't have no contra. Just this dehumanizing piece. And you get that initially right away, and it's like, wow, what's going on here? Yeah, it's like, it's like a shock. And as you move back and forth, going back and forth from court to whatever detention center you is, you begin to start to get accustomed to it. You adjust to it. All right, I know I'm gonna have to strip. I know they're gonna look up my, my crack of my behind. I know they're gonna tell me to open my mouth. You get immune to it. So by the time you get to upstate, to Department of Correctional Facility, you're already ready for that, because you've been going through it back and forth for X amount of months, weeks, and in some instances years. And I always resisted it. I resisted that. I was like, what man is going to want to look at another man's private parts? Something is wrong with you, not me. So, I played these mental gymnastics with myself as survival techniques, and just the dehumanization. You asked about the criminal justice system. One thing I will say about the criminal justice system is that it's definitely criminal. It's criminal. It's criminal. Whereas it's supposed to be about rehabilitating you, but we need to start with habilitating us first. Forget about rehabilitating us. I don't want you to rehabilitate me and turn me back to what I was doing that ultimately led me here. I want you to help me get to some spaces and places where I won't have to do what I did that ultimately got me here. And, when the sister was talking about just now, Myasia was talking about the public defenders. It's not just the public defenders. You got district attorneys. It's all corrupt and just like crooked. And it's not about fairness. That's what most people in America don't understand about the court system, the district attorney, the police. It's not about fairness. It's about procedures. Did they follow the procedure? We don't care if you're guilty or innocent. Was the procedures followed? And then when you start talking about the procedures, that has different implications for different groups of people. So one of the things that I would change about it is that one of the first things I would do is I would allow cameras to go into the courtroom. So we need to get, because the public needs to see what's going on in there.
That'd be very powerful.
Let's get cameras in the courtroom.
Thank you so much for opening up your hearts and sharing those experiences with us. Really appreciate you, guys.
Hi, I would like to welcome another guest. Peace, Isaac.
How you doing?
I'm well. So I would love to hear about Isaac Quarterly and how you kind of started as an artist.
So my journey as an artist started during my incarceration back in like 2009. I started doing art on, I believe I shared this with you before, I was doing art on greeting cards for folks inside prison. So that's kind of where I started with the arts. But when I came home with a bunch of art, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this art, but I'm gonna do something. This is what I've been doing when I was in there. I'm gonna do something with this. I'll show it. I didn't know, that was my plan, just bring the art home. So I did that. And, I started making more art when I came home. I started participating in more art exhibitions, and from there I was just like, I want to have my own business, and Isaac's Quarterly, what it is today from what it started from, is it's like a total evolution. We went through so many phases of having different identities. What do we want to do? Do we want to be a business where we sell items? Do we want to provide resources? Do we want to, what do we want to do? Do we want to just have events? Like, what is this? So it took some time, and this was founded by me in 2014. So, it's been a while now. And in 2018, I think that, I want to say I know that we found what we want to do, and Isaac's Quarterly is a resource to artists, And our first resource is the Confined Arts, which is the platform for currently and formerly incarcerated artists to show their work. So it's taken its time, but we're here now. We're gonna ride this wave.
That's awesome, because having an artistic outlet is so important.
Yes.
Especially to healing.
Yes.
Can you share kind of your healing process, coming home after being incarcerated?
Healing, I think most of it comes, at those times where, I'm either in a session with, the people I work with or I'm working with at the time, or when I'm doing art. Those are the only two times, either when I'm talking about something I've been through, or I'm listening to something else someone else has been through that's kind of similar to me, and I can relate and gain that interpersonal comfort right there with that. Or when I'm by myself and I'm zoning out in my art. Those are like the only two times I can really find healing in, just not just in what I've been through in prison, but just in life. We go through so much stuff on a day-to-day basis we have to be healed from. People hurt our feelings. We got to get healed from that, it's, and even bigger, so. Yeah.
How would you say your experience being incarcerated changed your perspective, like growth-wise?
In general?
Yeah.
I mean, shucks, I don't want to go to jail no more, so I'm going to stop doing a lot of the stuff I was doing before. It's changed it in that perspective, just like, obviously for the obvious reasons. But it's changed my perspective in a lot of ways, being without a lot of things makes you appreciate a lot more, It's changed my perspective as a father, I was just telling my lady yesterday that we took my daughter out for her birthday. She turned 12 yesterday, and I was telling her, I used to be in jail praying for the opportunity to be able to take care of my kids. So to be able to, grab her from school and take her out, and, show her some fun on her birthday, it really meant a lot to me. So jail changed my perspective in a lot of ways. It's changed my perspective on how to deal with people, Just imagine living in like a room this size with like 10, 12 people, you know what I mean? You definitely have to learn how to read body language and, make it work, you know what I mean? So when you have to work in work environments, small work environments, you kind of, know how to navigate, how to move to be comfortable and not to step on people's toes or not to, whatever it is you have to do because So it's changed my perspective through experience and, just having a lot of time to think and losses, that I had to suffer. So it's changed a lot. It's changed my perspective in a lot of different ways,
What would you say was one of the hardest challenges?
What, for me to overcome?
Yeah, while being incarcerated. Maybe
I think to answer that question, to give you a good answer for that, an honest one, I think that the hardest thing for me to overcome was the understanding that I remember that my youngest daughter's, the one who celebrated her birthday, her mother would say, "Well, you chose to be in jail." And I used to be like, "Yeah, what do you mean? I didn't choose to come here. I didn't ask them to lock me up. I didn't ask them to keep me this long." And it took me some time to really understand that I made that choice through my decisions. You know, when I made those decisions, knowing the consequences, I inadvertently chose to, go to jail. Like, you're making this choice to either, if you go down this road, you're either gonna end up dead or in jail, and you go down that road, you've already made the choice to, either end up dead or in jail. So whatever becomes of you, that was your choice you made. You know what I mean? So it took me a while to understand that and be able to own up to that. You know what I mean?
Because we know that Black and brown communities are disproportionately imprisoned, and sometimes the reasons are out of their hands because it's survival, what advice would you give to a person who, is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place?
I don't know, man. I try to share wisdom with people based on what I know, what I've been through, and I just try to refer them to places. But I would always say, talk to people. Utilize the resources most close to you, even if you don't know that you have them. The people closest to you, even if it's not somebody you're totally comfortable speaking to, if they've shown you that they're, trustworthy, maybe it may be worth it to share something with them so that they could possibly help you. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. Sometimes we don't get the help we need because we don't speak up, and sometimes we don't know to speak up. So. I guess the advice I would say is utilize the resources around you. I spoke to some of the new scholars that came into Columbia. I went to their class on Monday and I spoke with them. They're formerly incarcerated students. And, I told them the same thing. Y'all on this campus. I'm gonna be personally upset with you guys if y'all do not utilize the resources that are here. It's a ton of them. And a lot of times we have resources around us and we don't know about it.
That's true. So can you share a bit about the work you're doing at Columbia?
Okay, so I'm the Arts and Communications Coordinator at the Center for Justice at Columbia University. And a lot of my work is communication, so handling the center's public outreach, the mailer, the social media, the website. More than that, I teach in prison. We founded a directly impacted group on campus where we provide resources and support for directly impacted students and staff members on campus. I speak all around campus. I speak all around the country with Columbia, talking about the arts and incarceration. I don't know, it's hard to just say what I do at Columbia because I guess really, like, whatever we need you to do, whatever you can do. It's like the work you bring to the table. It's interesting because we work, collectively, independently, collectively, if you will, because we all bring our own style of advocacy and our own area of expertise to the table. And when we bring that to the table, that in its fullness is the mission of the Center for Justice, which is to reduce the nation's reliance on mass incarceration. So it's a great space. So it's a very free space for me to be who I already was, founder of Isaac's Quarterly, the Confined Arts, and bring that in there and have that program be really cultivated there and made sense of in there, because when I got to Columbia, it was just pop-up galleries we were doing. And when I got to Columbia, when I got some counseling from my peers and some mentors, it evolved into what it is today. So, I feel like I went off, but I think,
excellent.
but yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to really, it's hard for me to really like really pinpoint, but I do so much at Columbia, and everyone there does so much, and we're really just trying to really just make this transition from prison home as easy as possible and as resourceful as possible. And we're also trying to be a intersecting, mechanism to folks going to prison, and making sure that that stops, So if we can do some work with the youth so that, or if we can provide whatever it is we can do, we can try to do, we'll do, as much as within our capacity and within the mission of what we're trying to do. We can't do everything, but we do a lot, We do a lot.
And it has to start somewhere.
It has to start somewhere, yeah.
Sounds like you're really making an impact.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, really. Thank you.
This poem is in honor of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile, entitled Swim. Lord, I feel so helpless, so unsure of what to do and how to feel. I'm lost at sea, battling through my capricious emotions that roll and churn like waves. Anger and grief topple over each other, enveloping me beneath its chilling surface. All is closed off. I only hear silence as the sea rages above me. It would be so restful to be buried beneath its depths, alone, safe, free. But I struggle to the surface for breath. I need to find serenity above ground, for I long to breathe in peace. Its heady fragrance is so foreign to me. But the stench of hate, the malodorous scent of injustice, these aromas are all too familiar. Oh, how I long for the winds to change, to carry empathy and grace to the nostrils of the merciless, to blow forth against intolerance, to disrupt the minds and hearts of the ignorant, to push down the wall of denial. This is our world. This is our reality. This. It doesn't have to be our existence. Despair and helplessness collide, a tumultuous sea attempting to lead me to doubt and question. But you, O God, are faithful. You're continuous and true. When the world is chaos, you stand still. You're the solid ground I'm spit upon by a merciless and unapologetic sea of life. But you made all colors, all souls, all humankind. You hold our hand throughout the storm, bestowing courage and grace. The ocean may be powerful, but in your perfect timing, you calm the oceans, and you tame the wind. You speak and I'll obey. Satan, get behind thee. Here you have no place. Though tides of tensions rise, and the wind howls in protest, the disquiet that simmers is forging bonds in unity because of hate. Our Father, the Alpha and Omega, he has us in the palm of his hand, and we cannot be snatched from it. The manipulative sea strives to drown us, but we wade in the water. The wind may batter against us, but we stand firm upon the rock. We tread the waters of slavery. We sustain the loss of identity once ripped from our motherland. We assembled the vestiges of our African heritage, clung to God as we were tortured, raped, maimed, and brutally killed. We rose above. We made our way without 40 acres and a mule. We endured severe segregation and hate speech. We remained seated. We chose education in the face of lynching. We stayed courageous while attacked by dogs and fire hoses. We sang hymns in prison. We buried our families and our leaders. This was 200 years ago. This was 50 years ago. This was yesterday. We continue to hope. We continue to breathe. We can stay afloat alone. But to swim free of fear, in genuine equality, oh, how I have a dream. I have a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream like that of my predecessors, to wholeheartedly sing, free at last, free at last. I thank God I'm free at last.
I want to thank you very much, Alyssa, for being a host of my show, The Artistic Talent, and plus being an interviewer to all the guests that was here. I think you did a fabulous job. Excellent, great. You know, it's part of your personality. You're very good. And I want to thank the audience that's out there for listening, and we welcome you all again because we're going to make this a series. And she's definitely going to be the host again.
I will be here.
And especially promoting her poetry, and I hope y'all got the her website where y'all can contact her, because y'all gonna enjoy what she's doing. So I thank everybody else, and I hope you'll tune in again to the Artistic Talent Show, which comes on every Thursday at 10 a.m. and again at 10 p.m. and it's on Cable Vision 67, and you can watch it all over the borough on Verizon Fios 42. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Melvin, for having me. And you can find more of my poetry and interviews like this, along with portraits that I've drawn, on my blog called wematter.blog. Thank you so much.
Here you go. Thank you.
Yeah, word. Thank you for coming to our graduation, for chilling with us, building with us. This is this demo, you know, Healing Justice mixtape. Coming soon, come get it. It's young leaders, you feel me? Making music, healing music, building music, coming to your city, coming to your country, taking over policies, taking over the state, saying fuck the state. Yeah, and we have those 3 tracks. Healing Justice is a strategy, Toxic, and I'm on that shit too. And our Healing Justice mixtape is a feedback of our truths, of all of our people truths. So y'all gonna get it. Yeah. Voice sound good?
Yo, it's YOC.
To earn every penny.
Holla.
Yeah.
We in the building. Healing Justice mixtape. I know shit be holding me back. What be holding you back?
Okay.
Talk to him.
I said, don't get out of pocket, you just need to learn your lesson, ayy. We were always legends, never peasants, it's a blessing, ayy. Healing with our truth and all our truth, that's how we detonate. Whip it up and then let's get paid. Create the path and get out my way.
Hey,
Out my way.
hey,
Out my way.
hey,
Out my way.
hey.
We the ones you have forgotten. Your hateration for generations been filled with toxic. Got a case of every black sister, brother, you're just a rotten. So I wake up gracefully, cause every day allow me progress. Burn paper planes so close to spirit when I'm in the cockpit. Trying to break these chains, but still my history is stained with gossip. By Peter, Jane, John, and Susan, never step in the projects. My movement racing, cause my lifespan only had corner concepts. Her drive slow, that's just the old heads give you block tips. Before the pigs find out the drop and try to give you drop kicks. My friends and family get the port, I'm on some killer cop shit. Fucking rob the gentrify while they look for cafe options. Welcome to the jungle, lose your life on some outside shit. Put 2-foot lockers on the same spot, that just for profit. Once you be laid up on your rent, so spend what's in your pocket. Police got cameras on your block, they doing more than watching. With the new slaves, it's only death for trying to take us hostage. It's Jim Crow Jr., structural violence, leave us social toxins. Come on, be honest, bruh.
Don't get out of pocket, you just need to learn your lesson, ayy. We were always legends, never peasants, it's a blessing, ayy. Healing with our truth and all our truth, that's how we detonate. Whip it up and then let's get paid. Raise the roof, then make it rain.
Hey,
Make it rain.
hey,
Make it rain.
hey,
Make it rain.
hey.
Mother, what you mean? Mother, yo, what you seen? On the streets they talk about cream, but from the soul they wanna talk about dreams. Nothing really ever what it seems. Young Brown reached 23. It's a blessing, yeah, yes indeed. Spirit watching my enemies. They not stopping my energy. I got the remedy for a melody. For longevity, my NIG. Won't need ID, my NIG. Just keep it on key, my NIG. Cause keeping it G ain't keeping it G if you ain't about we, my NIG. So walk with me, my NIG. Then you will see my NIG.
Ride out,
Everywhere try testing me, get the best of me.
ride out,
But I don't think they want the best of me, but the death of me.
ride out.
The best of me is not the best of me if he's standing right here next to me. Fucking with my destiny, you don't wanna deal with my telepathy. Mom gave me a recipe, so your great dad can't rest in peace. I'ma take the land and forget the lease. I've been working hard but getting extra sleep. Bench pressing with the world on me for 7 nights through 7 weeks.
Ride out,
Don't get out of pocket, you just need to learn your lesson, ayy. We were always legends, never peasants, it's a blessing, ayy. Healing with our truth and all our truth, that's how we detonate. Whip it up and then let's get paid. Fight the power and make a change. Make a change. Make a change.
Make a change. Make a change.
hey,
Make a change.
hey,
Make a change.
hey,
Make a change.
hey.
Make a change.
Here we go all over again, we pretend you're all over me, but you still call me a friend. I look you in the eyes, wondering how this ends. You'll open up to me, or you'll start to offend. All weekend you'll have me moaning instead of owning. You're feeling just scared, but they already controlling. The beat we rock to was here before you were. You don't even know how we got to fear either. In the meantime, why don't you go deeper? Well, I hope to God you end up a keeper. You're sweet, nothing's got me turned into a believer. Your girl needs you now, it's been time you were a leaver. Goddamn, is it so hard to love without putting me behind bars? To my friends, can you speak up next time you see love as an uppercut? To my family, I know you want me to marry, but I can't take the burden that shit carries. I got the world on my shoulders and I'm trying to change it. So your plan for me, I suggest you rearrange it. Damn, little boy, how'd you hide so well? The way you gripped on my thighs, I just couldn't tell. When you told me you fell, you showed me it too, but was all it was an act? Well, here's part two. I should've known the whole time this is what you do. I did know, just didn't think it'd be so soon. I didn't think with you it would hurt so hard, but every single man in my life left me with scars. It doesn't matter to me what you do when you do you. Being only mine doesn't equate to being true. I wouldn't take that leap of faith on you. Just needed you to remember that I'm a human too. Goddamn, is it so hard to love without putting me behind bars? To my friends, can you speak up next time you see love as an uppercut? To my family, I know you want me to marry, but I can't take the burden that shit carries. I got the world on my shoulders and I'm trying to change it. So your plan for me, I suggest you rearrange it. Goddamn, is it so hard to love without putting me behind bars? To my friends, can you speak up next time you see love as an uppercut? To my family, I know you want me to marry, but I can't take the burden that shit carries. The world's in my hands now, I won't let go of it again. Faced with a choice, I'm letting go of him.
So hard, yeah. So hard, yeah. It's 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 so hard.
Now don't do me like that. Come on. All these years I done put in with you, all the pain that we went through, we healed together, we build together. This what you gonna do to me? That's crazy. That's crazy.